Welcome, welcome, welcome. How is everybody doing? I hope you are well. On this week's episode, we have a great challenge. We have a Ghillie Pro versus a Ghillie beginner. Now, we didn't quite have the budget to bring in a Ghillie Pro, so unfortunately you're stuck with yours truly as the pro. And as the beginner, I have my good friend and intern Oren, who is a fantastic cameraman. He helps me shoot a lot of my videos and a lot of my photos. However, he has never ghillied anything in his life. He hasn't even had a full game of airsoft yet. We will get him playing this year. So we'll be going head to head to see who can ghillie the best rifle. Now, fortunately, we don't have to start from scratch. The Novritsch team sent us out some ghillie wraps to try out. I'll be crafting my SRS in the SRS wrap, and Oren will be using Evo Athena's SSG10 rifle wrap. Now, it wouldn't be fair putting Oren up against someone like myself, so there are rules to disadvantage me. So without further ado, grab a tea, grab a beer, and let's see who wins. I grab all my ghillie materials and hand them over to Oren, and I've also been sent some Novritsch leaves to test out as well. I've given Oren some time just to have a look through to see what he wants before we actually start the timer. This is his first time ever doing a build, so it was only fair to give him a bit of time to have a look. We want the time only to be used for the actual build. Make sure that you go through each box. Yes. So this is a predominantly green box, yep, and this is a predominantly brown box. Feel free to mix and match. Do you have any game plans so far?
Yeah, I do. I'm thinking obviously of the seasons that we're coming into, and to make something match there. I'm probably going to go for the colour of the green, and I just feel that coming into spring. As you said, this is a brown box, and it's cool, but it's not autumn, so I'm definitely going to go with the green. That's my game plan. Green, it'll just be completely camouflaged. This all the brown stuff, so I'm going to set this to the side. I'm not going to use this, unfortunately.
Give it here.
See, I like the fabrics. I'm not sure where you get these fabrics from, but they're really nice. I'm just seeing it already.
They come bearing gifts, yes, just in case
Thank you.
you need any. I'm just handing you some tools and some glues.
Got this. I've got the scissors. I'm also going to use this as well. I'm going to be in grass, lying in grass, and I'll feel that this is closest resembles the texture.
Cool.
It's really nice too.
Yeah. Let's go. So we're now about 10 minutes into the challenge. As soon as I hit the timer, Oren was very fast getting into work. He's going for green. I am not giving him any tips or any solutions. It's totally on him. It was his decision to choose green, which is quite interesting. We've given him 2 hours, so that's quite a long time for a gun ghillie wrap. Now, I know it can take longer, but he does have the added bonus of using the Novritsch ghillie wrap, which has just been released. So he's got a really good base to start from, and we'll see how he gets on. 2 hours should be plenty, but we'll see what he comes up with, and we'll check in on him and see how he's doing.
I'm using English Ivy, which is really good. Reason why is because every time I'm out with AKA, I notice on the ground there's loads of ivy on the trees and everything else. So I think these will blend in really well with the surrounding areas of Northern Ireland. So what I'm doing is I've cut a little bit off this rope and I've tied it around, and the reason behind it is because I'm trying to visualize exactly what I'm looking at instead of looking at the gun. So obviously the end of the gun is not going to be as visible as the front of the gun and the scope.
Why is that?
The reason why is because the back of the gun will be in my armpit here.
Okay.
So, and when this is at the back in my armpit, or if I'm wearing a ghillie, this is going to be covered up by my arms. From the sniper part to the end, the front of the gun is where I'm looking to really camouflage it.
So where all have you used the rope? I'm trying to pick it out
here. Try and gauge it and just basically wrap it up first.
Before you slap it up?
Turn it around and just do a nice wee tie. Doing it loose enough so you can just slide it in right here. And the reason why I do it kind of loose and not as tight is because I'm also gauging wind. So if it's windy, you obviously want these to be blowing in the wind, and you want everything in there. The human eye is not going to be able to pick it up straight away and detect. If you're to go to front, being in the grassy with grass growing, it should be difficult for you to see, and even if I shake it a little bit, you can see the grass moving. What I've done is, again, loosely wrapped it around, and I'm gonna might put another bit of rope to secure it. But again, I don't really want this to be like perfectly on it. I want it to be as loose as possible to give, again, the illusion that this is real. Because if this was real leaves, it wouldn't look perfect. If this was a piece of wood and leaves are growing from it, it wouldn't be all perfect. It'd be all wild. So the more wild the better it is to disguise. Really nicely done. Put around just to finish it off. Again, if you can see, these are really well done.
So I will interject at this point. Because these are Novritsch leaves, they come with Novritsch pins just to attach them.
Okay.
That's the only help that I'm giving you.
AK Staten hasn't helped me at all. At all. I think he's a little bit surprised of how much I know, and I've been on the field with him long enough as well.
Another thing about this challenge is the cost of the items. So any item that Oren uses, we will put it up as a cost, and we will tally the cost up as well. And just to demonstrate also about how inexpensive or how expensive some items are. Yeah, he seems to be doing a good job. He's absolutely flying. I don't think he'll need the full 2 hours. He's pretty much got the rifle completely covered by now, which is pretty good to see. So yeah, might be able to get lunch soon.
Yeah, it was 2 hours, and I thought I would try and get it done, but I might use it full 2 hours and make sure it's right. So what I'll do now is add more stuff to the front, and that should be me done. This is me done.
Let's stop the clock. Right, well, there was a bit of hesitation. Will I stop the clock?
Yes, you can stop the clock.
So you can't go back if I stop it?
If you
That's
stop
you?
it, that's me done. That's me completely done, yeah.
So this is my rifle, the SRS cover by Novritsch, which fits really, really well. Now I do have Ghillie underneath, but as you can see, I've completely covered it, so you can't see any of my Ghillie.
I mean, this is already one. There is no competition, aka let's.
Whoa.
You know what I mean?
Whoa.
It's not like a...
So it's now up to me. I've got 2 hours and I'm only allowed to get from this box. Let's see how I do. So we're out in the forest. Oren has finished his in a record time. He also used everything out of the green box, or a lot of things out of the green box. So I can only use stuff out of this box.
Considering you're an expert, I think 30 minutes. 30 minutes, yeah.
So I no longer have 2 hours. Oren, you're giving me, what, 30 minutes?
30 minutes.
Right, here we go, 30 minutes. Here we go.
How long left?
No pressure. There you go. I'm gonna go back to my trusty old friends, the elastic bands. What you can do is obviously twist the loops of elastic round, but what I like to do is keep the elastic spread out, so it gives me loads of coverage the whole way down the rifle. The other thing that I'm going to use are the brown cable ties. Normally I wouldn't have to do this, but I'm going to have to use them here because the SRS, the buttstock of the SRS, is way too thick for all the elastic bands and the hair bands. So I need to get the hair bands on this somehow. So I'm going to use these. So the cable tie went on really nice. It's going to be really strong. I've only threaded it through one whole hoop and it definitely won't rip. Rather than cable tying just one large loop on, what I like to do is twist it and tie it. That means that you get two smaller loops, which is easier for adding the vegetation. So now I have two loops for the vegetation as opposed to one big one that I would then have to wrap round and round and round.
It's up to you.
So that took me 16 minutes. This is it. We have both completed our task. Oren went the artificial route, whereas I made the conscious decision of ghillying my rifle out on location. It's now time to check out whose build was most effective by having a game of hide and seek. Oren's up first, so he has to go and hide his rifle, and I'll go and try and find it. So this is Oren's lovely ghillie wrap build. I kind of thought maybe he was doing stuff really messily, but it was messy with a reason, which he said about, and now that I see it out in here, I'm a wee bit worried.
Okay, so I'm here with this rifle that I did for AKA, and there's rules. Basically, I'm only going to hide about 20% of it because AKA informed me that what we want to see is how good the natural ghillie is.
Oren actually did really, really well, and when interviewing him and asking him bits and pieces while he was crafting, he seemed to be getting all the right terminology even right. So I'm wondering, has he been secretly studying? And I know he watches my videos. I know that he helps me come and do photos, and whenever I'm critiquing the photos, I'm saying why the shot doesn't look good, but also why the ghillie suit doesn't look good in certain situations. While we've been having those little conversations, I think he's been taking it all on board. So yeah, I think he knows a lot more. Maybe I should have started with a complete beginner.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and maybe just quietly loosely cover it up, and that's fine. That's fine. So let's see if he'll find this.
The point of this contest is obviously to show off the ghillie, not how well we can hide the actual thing. So we aren't allowed to dig any holes and pile a whole load of dirt on it. We aren't allowed to shove it underneath a bit of bark.
Yep.
You're ready?
Yep, I'm ready.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Boom.
Oh, here we go. Has he placed it in the tree?
Has he placed it in a tree?
So it's relatively well hidden. I used the over trees. How long did that take? 2 minutes. So AKA is getting ready to hide his. I'm gonna go and stand exactly where he was standing. He's an expert in this, so I expect for me to be looking longer. Possibly even turn around and go, nah, I can't find it. I mean, I'm out with AKA starting to do his ghillie suits and everything, and there's sometimes I can't even find him. That's a full body person. I don't know what it's gonna be like when I'm trying to find a gun.
There's my rifle there. My rifle is a bit of a mix and a match. It's got a lot of green and it's got a lot of brown, whereas orange was just green. So we might run the test just once more, just to give him an equal chance, because his gun is predominantly green. Go.
yours is brown, so I'm looking for the brown areas, just like yours is looking for the green areas. I would have spotted it in a tree because of my height, my peripheral. So I'm looking.
So Oren found it in just under, so it must have been about 4:40 by the time I got the phone out.
Like I was saying in the start of the video, as I was doing this, there's a lot of English ivy around, so that's why I put lots of ivy on the gun, as you can see. So let's try and put this in a place where it's a little bit more concealed, and I've got 20% to cover. So let me see. Put it in here. Yeah. So according to the camera, you've been oh, there he is. Yeah, he got it. Yeah, so there's natural sticks. I had to lift them up and put it down again. And that was 3 minutes, 39 seconds.
I will admit, over there was a wee bit easier, even for Oren, I think, to find stuff, because it was far flatter ground, whereas everywhere here, yes, it's all green, but there's so many nooks and crannies and bits that you can hide that, yeah, it was difficult enough.
Got it. Got it. It was more difficult to hide, or find.
Okay, so Oren didn't win either round, even when we went into a green area, but I think his build was really, really good for a beginner. It had a nice breakup, he chose good colours, and yeah, cosmetically it might not have looked good, but the strategic messiness of it really, really worked. So there you have it. I think I won the competition a wee bit, but Oren did really flipping well. I was starting to panic a wee bit. Anyway, it was a bit of fun, light-hearted way of getting across a few messages. One, you don't need to spend that much money if you want to get into Ghillie. Certainly if you want to get into Ghillie crafting, then yes, by all means, you can sink money into it and you can get your suits looking really, really good. And one of the main advantages of using the artificial stuff is that it lasts longer. My SRS is now about 3 days old, and as you can see, it is just died to death. All those lush greens and bulk that you've seen from the natural vegetation have just decomposed. Half of it, of which I'll probably have to clear off this floor because it's just starting to break off and not be any use to anybody. In regards to the Novritsch wraps themselves, I find the mesh is very, very good. It's very, very lightweight, very strong. I love that you can thread through the cable tie just in one loop and pull it and it won't break. It's really, really good. It's a base layer, so I will always craft onto it, so I wouldn't really be that worried in what color to get. I think the amber is a great starting point. Granted, the leaf strips aren't going to be as strong as other suits on the market, more expensive suits, but this is only like, what, 32 euros? Like, that's a really good price for a starting point. And Oren, who was a complete beginner, crafted his whole rifle in like, what, 55 minutes using this base. It fits really well, it's really, really snug, and because of that, it is quite difficult to get on, but once it's on really, really well. There's lots of adjustments to do. The SRS shaped one fits really, really well. There's elastic here and here, underneath and underneath here to get it really, really tight. My SRS is a 16-inch version with the DTS silencer, and the Novritsch SRS wrap covers it completely. It doesn't have the built-in scope cover like you do with the SSG10 version, but I think you can buy that separately if you want to. The SSG10 is very symmetrical, so it doesn't matter whether you're left or right-handed, it'll fit. But as it stands, there's only a right-handed version for the SRS users, so sorry lefties. The SRS version is a wee bit more difficult to get on due to the big pistol grip and the magazine, but it's not too much of an issue. What I did was undid the elastic lace, pulled it through, laced it back up and tightened it, and it's been on fine and it's stayed on. Another thing about the SRS version is that there is no hole for the thumb screws of the original hop unit, so if you're using that you may just have to cut your own. On that, we did cut the SSG10 version for Catherine's Gunsmithy TDC, but because it's ripstop material, we were happy enough to do that. The SSG10 rifle wrap fits the standard barrel, and there is also an optional silencer cover if you want to put that on as well. And for those of you worrying about the mag release, there's a lovely big gap for you to eject your mags without too much hassle. And speaking of silencer covers, they are designed for the Novritsch silencer specifically, but as you can see on my AAP, it fits other silencers as well. And that brings us to the end of today's episode. If you like the challenge aspect of me versus Oren, please comment below and let us know what else you would like us to do. As always, I've put a ton of energy and time into making this episode. Please like and subscribe and hit that notifications bell. It really helps with the algorithm. Also, comment below, do you like the Novritsch wraps? What color would you choose? Is there anything that you would like added? I'd be keen to hear your thoughts as well. Anyway, peace.